This is Scott Spratt from ProFootballFocus.com, and this is another Fantasy Slant. Ever since Bill Belichick arrived in New England, he has frustrated fantasy owners in terms of running backs. Most recently, both Stevan, Ridley, and Shane Vereen have teased fantasy owners, but in the former's case, fumbles, and the latter's case, injuries, have prevented either from being a consistent top 10 option. Most recently, the Patriots were seen using often cast-off LeGarrette Blount early in the playoffs when he was a total star. He rushed for 166 yards and 4 touchdowns against the Colts. He's actually reached 800 total yards and 5 touchdowns in 3 of his 4 NFL seasons, despite bouncing around. But once again, Blount has bounced around this offseason, recently signing with Pittsburgh, and he'll be in some kind of committee there with Le'Veon Bell. For the Patriots, that leaves, again, Stevan Ridley and Shane Vereen. However, while neither guy is going to be appealing to a lot of owners because of those former inconsistencies, both are values outside of the top 10 in redraft formats. Last season, Ridley had 0.47 standard fantasy points per opportunity. That was the third highest among NFL backs with 150 or more carries, behind only, at the time, teammate LeGarrette Blount and Jamal Charles, the number 1 player in fantasy. As bad as his 2013 season was perceived to be, Ridley had 4.3 yards per carry and scored 7 touchdowns. His major issue, of course, is fumbling the ball. He has fumbled 4 times in each of the last 2 seasons, and it often seems to happen at critical junctures. For Vereen, he had 0.55 PPR fantasy points per opportunity, which was tied for third among backs with 75 or more touches last season in PPR formats. Again, that was behind Jamal Charles and then new San Diego Chargers running back Donald Brown. Vereen had an incredible 47 catches on 66 targets in only half a season after spending the first half of the season on the short-term IR. Darren Sproles back in 2011 is the only running back to reach 80 catches in a season, let alone 90 that the Vereen was on pace for last season in the last 5 or so seasons. Vereen actually had more catches than rushing attempts last season. Though the real split of this workload is probably going to be based on size, as Shane Vereen is 30 pounds lighter than Stevan Ridley, and with his history of injuries, the Patriots are probably going to want to avoid giving Vereen 15 or so touches a game. However, between the two of them, I feel like you have a good chance to get 2 top 20 running backs, so they're coming off as a bit of a value so far this season. In Dynasty formats, the third Patriots running back that you may want to target is rookie James White. He's 5'9", 204 pounds out of Wisconsin. He's a bit on the smaller side and isn't super fast, but he's quick enough to reach the outside and make some defenders miss. More importantly, from Bill Belichick's perspective, he fumbled only 0.4% of his touches at Wisconsin, making him one of the least fumble-prone players in the draft this season. Both Ridley and Vereen are set to be free agents after this season. Their performance this year will probably determine whether or not they'll be back in New England. But it's entirely possible that White may be the starting running back in 2015 for the Patriots, in a position where many unheralded running backs have come in and been effective. For Pro Football Focus, this is Scott Spratt.